So in one of the paragraphs, the verb endings are correct. In the other paragraph, there are some mistakes where the verb endings are wrong because they are either plural when they should be singular, or they are singular when they should be plural. The first thing you must do is identify the main noun in the subject of the sentence. Look at these two examples. In the first one, it's quite straightforward. The noun only has one word, which is students. In the second example, though, we have a noun phrase of 3 words. The main noun is still students here. The second part, at university, is a preposition phrase which has been added to the main noun. To get the sentence right, the verb must agree with the main noun. That is, if the main noun is singular, the verb must have a singular form. Or, if the main noun is plural, the verb must have a plural form. Let's start looking at the points which came up in the opening task. Firstly, nouns which are connected together by connector words. First of all, where you have 2 or more nouns joined by the connector and, the noun is considered plural, and so you use a plural verb. So, for example, Pakistanis and Indians play. We have 2 nouns joined by an, so we use the plural form of the verb. Another example here, the Queen of England and Prince Charles spend Christmas in Scotland. If 2 nouns are joined by other connectors, the noun phrase is singular. For instance, the Queen of England or Prince Charles speaks at the opening of Parliament. But if the nouns themselves are plural, then the verb also takes the plural form. We consider it to be plural anyway. So Pakistanis or Indians, both of these nouns are plural, so the verb remains plural, play. The second area of difficulty is with quantity and referring nouns, where there are a number of rules. Firstly, with referring nouns. Most referring nouns are singular. So look at the list on the screen. Everybody, everyone, anybody, anyone, nobody, no one, somebody, someone, all of these referring pronouns are singular. So, for example, nobody wants to be left out. With quantity pronouns, there are various rules. A number of quantity pronouns are plural, so few, most, or many. And from the example from the beginning of the lesson, most enjoy the games. Some quantity pronouns depend on the noun they are describing. So, for example, some and any are like this. There isn't any rice. Rice is a singular noun, so there is. Or there aren't any potatoes. Potatoes is a plural noun, so there aren't. Each is a singular noun when it's on its own. Some or any are plural when on their own, and none on its own is used both in the singular and the plural. What about quantity phrases to do with money, distance, or time? Well, these are usually used as singular nouns when they have a value at the beginning. So, for example, $50 is a lot of money for a child. So $50 is considered to be a whole, therefore a singular noun. However, when we are referring to each of the individual items in the quantity, for example, the 50 individual dollar notes, then we use the plural. So the example here, the 50 individual dollar notes are slightly different in appearance. Phrases beginning there is and there are can cause some confusion because here we look for the noun after the verb, unlike in all other cases. Once you know this, it's fairly straightforward. So for example, there are hundreds of mobile games. Games is plural, so the verb takes the plural form. Or there is a river in the mountains. River is a singular noun, so is the singular form of to be. Finally, group nouns. This is where you have a noun that describes a collection of nouns together, like a team, or a class, or a choir. What are the rules here? Well, if you use one group noun, it is singular. But if there are two or more groups, use the plural. For example, the nation is joining in. This describes one group noun, one nation. But all the nations of the world are joining in. This describes more than one nation, so we use the plural. But again, if we are referring to the individual members of a group, then we would use the plural. So for example, the people of the nation are voting for a new leader. So now we have gone through all of the rules that enable us to go back to our opening task and answer which paragraph was correct. Was it A or B? And if you chose paragraph B, you chose the right answer. Over 50% of Pakistanis and Indians play games on mobile devices. So here we have connectors, the connector and joining two nouns, which makes the verb plural. It seems that nobody wants to be left out of this new trend, so nobody takes the singular. Most students at college enjoy these games too, so most students is plural, and all the nations are joining in with this trend. Again, all the nations, many group nouns is plural.